Hey guys, hey guys. Can you guess what my favorite band is? If you're too fucking stupid to have gathered this already, what's wrong with you? Today I'm gonna be ranking all their shit. Alright, Bucko, here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna be going through every one of their albums in chronological order, and I'm gonna show a little track ranking right here, and then I'm gonna, give a little bit of what I think about it. And after we do all 19, 18, 17, 16 or so. It's very complicated system on how you number them. Then I'm gonna go ahead and rank all of the albums themselves. It's gonna be pretty fucking repetitive. Before we get balls deep into the video, I should probably clarify something. AC/DC is an Australian band, and for their first few albums, they released slightly different versions and slightly different albums in general. In Australia and compared to what they did internationally. So we're going to be going off of what they did, what they released in Australia, because I feel like it. It's my fucking video. Compared to a lot of their catalog, High Voltage really isn't a great debut. A lot of other bands have debuts that are like easily top 3 of their material. Not these guys. It's top 10 on a good day, but it's typically pretty middle of the road. When it comes to track rankings, Soul Stripper's at the top. Then I forgot what I put for number 2. And then number 3, oddly enough, is Little Lover, which is typically a pretty clowned on song. But I like it. So fuck you, suck my balls. You ain't got a hold on me. That's it. That's what my number 2 was. I really gotta write this down.
I'm TNT, I'm dynamite.
TNT is a really solid sophomore album. Most of TNT is what made it into the international version of High Voltage. So that's kind of cool. Fun fact, the song called High Voltage is actually off of TNT. It's right there. See it? See it? Is it pretty? Is it pretty? I'm pretty. As you have probably already read, my top 3 are the title track, Livewire, and High Voltage. Okay, next one. Holy balls. Okay, editing me right now. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why didn't I say It's a Long Way to the Top is my favorite off of TNT? It is by a fucking long shot. Just pretend that's what I said right there. Honestly, when it comes to Dirty Deeds, there isn't that much I can really say other than it's pretty good. Top 3 tracks, Ride On, Jailbreak, and the title track. Title tracks, honestly, I think is pretty dry, but that doesn't mean that it's not still really solid. There's not a single bad track on this album. I mean, there's no bad tracks on really any of the albums, I think. But this one, they all have pretty much similar quality, and the quality's pretty good. Except for the top 2, which are just S-tier songs. Yeah, here's the ranking. Next one. Okay, we'll address the elephant or dog in the room in a second, but I just want to get some of my opening remarks out of the way first. A lot of people say that Let There Be Rock is one of the best, if not the best, from the Bon era, and yeah, it is. It's one of the best, obviously, but there's really not that. Honestly, there's not that much to pick from. But it is not nearly the best. The next 2 are definitely better. Let There Be Rock is also really short, with only 8 tracks, which isn't that abnormal for, this era of AC/DC. And it just because it's short doesn't mean that it's bad at all. Some of my favorite albums are only, 8 tracks. But it feels really short. I don't know why. I sort of know why. is probably because of the two at the bottom of this list that I almost always skip because I think that they're sort of duds. I don't know why people like Dog Eat Dog and Go Down so much. I never really found them to be that good. I just can't. I've listened to them. I've listened to them plenty. I've listened to studio and live recordings. I just can't. They're not that good. They're not nearly as good as the ones in the top three, like, you know, Whole Lotta Rosie, the title track, and fuck, I keep fucking forget. I keep being only to remember. Whoa, okay. Think about your words. Think about your words, Henry. I'm only able to remember the top fucking two songs, or two songs out of the top three. I can never get all three. Hold on. Okay, I thought Overdose was in the top three. I was right. Go me. Next one. Yippee! Now we're at Power Age, which is, it's the first internationally released album that has a consistent album cover. That means both the Australian and international versions share the album cover. Let's see here. So, I don't have that much to say, actually. It's just that this is a really good album. I'm not going to say where it places on my list, but just know it's pretty damn high. Here's the track ranking. Riff Raff at the top. Then it's What's Next to the Moon and Down Payment Blues. All really good. Not a single bad track on this album. Even though this album's really good, its successor, even better. You know what sometimes bums me out is that pretty much over time, in my opinion, all the Bon Scott albums just kept getting better and better, and I really don't know if he didn't die months after this album came out, if it would have kept getting better, or if it would have peaked at Highway to Hell and just kind of went down. But anyway, less about hypotheticals, more about the album itself. So here's the ranking. Top three: Walk All Over You, the title track, and Beating Around the Bush. Little fun fact about me: Highway to Hell was A, the first album I ever listened to front to back. B, I believe the first ever copy of a physical music that I owned. And last little fun fact, my favorite album of all time. I can't pinpoint what exactly makes this album so damn great, but it's just something about it. I really recommend, if you haven't already, going and listening to it. Little disclaimer though, side A, definitely better than side B. Not by much, but also the production quality, really good. Pretty sure this is the first album where Mutt Lange was a producer, so that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna stop dragging on the Highway to Hell segment and move right into the next decade and the next era of the band, I guess. One could argue that Back in Black has the most hits out of every AC/DC album, and I would agree with that. It may not have it doesn't have Thunderstruck, which I believe is their biggest song. That comes about 10 years later, but it has the highest number of hits. Like You Shook Me All Night Long, the title track, Shoot to Thrill, Hell's Bells, etc. Look at the little thing. You Shook Me All Night Long, the title track, and Hell's Bells are the top three. I really don't know what else to say. Yes, I do fucking know what else to say about this album. Brian Johnson, his debut with them, really good. Really great, actually. I love him. Cool little hat. Really cute little hat. I still prefer Bon Scott, but it's really close. And Brian has so much more with them that you really, I don't typically bother bringing up which one I like better, because they're so great and they bring so much unique stuff to the table. Brian never tried to be the next Bond or copy Bond, but he equally works as well with the tone of AC/DC and didn't change the band. You can still listen to Bond and Brian era songs and easily tell that it's the same band, and I love how that was able to happen. It's honestly quite rare that the lead singer, the frontman of a band, passes away, and the band still goes on to, be really good. Typically, that just either ends the band, or it's just not really good anymore. But yeah, real good, really good. For those about to rock, another really good album. I see it as almost a sister album to Back in Black. A lot of people do, because somewhat similar album covers and tone is. But I would argue that For Those About to Rock is AC/DC's heaviest album. Just listen to something like Inject the Venom and come back to me and agree with me, please. There's really not much that I can say about this one, because, it's really good. Top three are the title track, I think Inject the Venom, and I don't remember. You can look. I don't need to read it to you. Flick of the Switch used to be my least favorite. Now it's not one of my favorites, but it's grown on me a lot. Top three are Nervous Shakedown, the title track. God damn it. You read it. Love the album art. It's really cool, really simplistic. It almost looks like pencil drawn to an extent. Really solid album. Not my favorite of theirs, but really good. I like it. I think I'm gonna stop trying to tell you my top three, and I'm just gonna tell you my favorite, because I have that memorized for most of them. Fly on the Wall. It's okay. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Favorite outfit is Shake Your Foundations, which, it's really good. Something about the production quality on this album isn't, I think, up to par with the albums from Highway to Hell to Flick of the Switch. For some reason it dips here, but it then picks back up with the next one. And honestly, I don't have much to say about this album, so let's move on to the next one. She Blow on My Up Till I Video. Blow Up Your Video is an album that I hadn't heard of until a few months ago. Not a few months ago, like almost a year ago, actually. I really don't know why. I guess, there's really no hits off the album whatsoever. The biggest one is the album opener, Heat Seeker, I think. Which, it's a good song, but it's not that big. Favorite off the album is That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll, which is an unnecessarily long title, but it's really not that bad compared to some other earlier songs. I don't have much to say about this one either, because this is not that. It's interesting. It's a great album. They're all great, but at some point you just run out of things to say. The Razor's Edge, no apostrophe necessary. That's in reference to the title of the album, even though it grammatically should have an apostrophe in Razors. There is no apostrophe. Best track on this one for me is the overplayed Thunderstruck. It's a hit for a reason. It's good. It's really good. This album also has the closest that I think that AC/DC has ever gotten to being metal, with, you know, the title track and a Christmas song, oddly enough. Again, everything on this album really solid, but I don't have too terribly much to say. Maybe I could pull a fun fact out of my ass. Like, a lot of the lyrics, instead of being written by Brian, most of the lyrics on the album were written by Angus and Malcolm, because Brian was like going through a divorce or something. Okay, on to Ball Breaker. This was another album that I had on CD as a kid, and as you saw earlier, I have it on vinyl now. Another album with not many hits at all, but it's all really solid. Like, favorite track is... Fuck, I forgot what my favorite track was. It's probably Hail Caesar. I don't give a shit enough to look right now. But a lot of tracks on this are really good. A lot of the time too, like at the start of Hard as a Rock, it almost sounds like they're using a cleaner tone, which is something that I really like. Again, not a single bad track, and I'm also running out of things to say. Oh, also, there's a song about Hitler on here. A little weird, little weird, but it's really good, so I'll give it a pass. Okay, Stiff Upper Lip. These are ones that you can see on here now. It's okay. Close to the bottom of my list. I'm not gonna say if it's at the very bottom or what placement it is in, but it's all right. My favorite on it is Satellite Blues, which pretty decent intro. Another notable-ish track on here, for not the reason you might think, is Meltdown, and you will see why close to when this video drops. Check my channel around the same time you're watching this, and it'll make sense. I promise. Okay, now it's time for the longest album in their catalog. So, Black Ice. Second album that came out in the 21st century. And the first album to release that I was alive for. I didn't pay attention to it, because I was a baby. But, you know, I was alive. That's cool. Favorite track? I forgot which one I have listed. It's either Stormy Mayday or Rock and Roll Train. Both really good. Again, no bad songs, but nothing really of note. Tour was great, though. Yeah. Never saw it, but they released a live album of it, so there's that. Okay. Rock or Bust time. Rock or Bust is one of the albums of all time. I'm just shitting you. It's a good album. Again, though, no real standouts. Some of my favorites are, you know, the title track, Rock the Blues Away, Dogs of War. I saw a show on the Rock or Bust tour, Valentine's Day of 2016. That was the best Valentine's Day I've ever had. Okay, yeah, another kind of mid, if you will, album, so let's get this video over with and go to the next one. Okay, now on to the most recent and what is probably, unfortunately, the last AC/DC album, because they're all old as shit. They're all older than my grandmother, except for one, but he's kind of just a replacement because his uncle died. Power Up is really good. It has a really cool album cover. Again, not a bad song at all on this one. Easily the best song on it is Through the Mist of Time, which, weirdly enough, an AC/DC song has almost brought me to tears before. I really recommend listening to it, especially watching the music video. The last frames of the music video are actually my desktop background, because it's that cool. Yeah, it's probably, their last album, and it's really good that this is what they're going out with. Because if they went out with Rock or Bust, it would not have been as good. Wait. There are more songs that are on albums. Here's them on the side. So when AC/DC released singles, a lot of the times there would be a song on the other side because they would release them physically on vinyl, which has two sides, and you're not just going to leave one side blank, so you have to put a song on both sides. A good amount of the time, they both ended up on the album, but sometimes the one on the B side did. So these are all those. Favorite is Carry Me Home. Big Gun is also really good. The rest, not as much, but again, never a bad AC/DC song. If any of you are left, this is what you haven't been waiting for. I'm ranking the albums. Now, I'm only doing the ones that I covered, which are the studio albums. So no live albums, no Who Made Who, no 74 Jailbreak, just, studio albums. Okay, so number 17 probably is Rock or Bust. Not my favorite. It's fine. It's good. I have a soft spot for it, but it's just fine. And then after that, number 16, Stiff Upper Lip. Again, it's a good album, but not nearly up to par. Fly on the Wall would probably be higher on this list, but the production quality is just not that great, and very few of the songs are very fucking memorable. After Fly on the Wall, Blow Up Your Video. I like Blow Up Your Video. I don't love it though, so it's kind of stuck in the number 14 spot. Number 13, Black Ice. Fun fact, Black Ice a few months ago used to be in my top 3, but then I realized none of the songs have as much staying power as, say, a lot of the ones from Highway to Hell or Back in Black. So, it really definitely bumped it down a lot. Then we got For Those About to Rock. Again, just another really solid album. I talked about it before. I don't know what else to say. Title track gives me fucking goosebumps whenever I hear recordings of it live. So that's definitely bonus points. And then Flick of the Switch at the number 10 spot, rounding out the top 10, Flick of the Switch. Yeah, this used to be at the very bottom of my list, but not anymore. Number 9, High Voltage. Obviously, yeah, if we talk about, the international High Voltage, it's higher, but womp womp. And then after High Voltage, in the number 8 spot, Power Up. I just talked about Power Up, so everything should be, fresh in your mind. And then it's The Razor's Edge. Already talked about that. Dirty Deeds, second lowest rated Bon album. And then it's Ball Breaker, which honestly I think it seems a little high for this list, but whatever. And then we have TNT, which is very similar to the international High Voltage. Really good. Let There Be Rock, again, full of bangers. Also a really sick album cover. It's even though it's just a video of them, photo, my bad, of them playing. You know, Go Down and Doggy Dog. To me, bring it down a little bit, but honestly, really solid. And then Back in Black, you know, full of hits, full of bangers. Great debut for Brian Johnson, but it not quite as good as the next one, number 2, Power Age. Again, all songs on this are, you know, 8 or 9 out of 10 or higher. And then obviously my beloved Highway to Hell. I think everybody saw this coming, especially after I called it my favorite album of all time earlier. So there you go. There's that for those who asked.
No one asked, but I don't give a shit. It's my fucking channel, bitch.
Okay, well there's that. I don't have an outro, so here's a video of Tate fucking a fridge.